Hey guys, what's going on? You are blessed to be here and watch the very first episode of our comeback, Sorry No. So Sorry No is a show where we take questions from the internet, from people we know, from write-ins, from call-ins, all these different things. Things that are happening in the news, things that people are just talking about. You write in, ask us a question, and you get the best answer we can. We are a multi-generational advice show. You call us, talk to us, write into us, and ask us questions about love, sex, relationships. There is nothing out of bounds. We have people from our 50s, 40s, 30s, and 20s to give you our best take on exactly your question. Now, sometimes we learn some stuff from the 20-year-olds. Sometimes we learn some stuff from the 50-year-olds. Everything's different. It's always something new. We always have fun. Nothing is out of bounds. We love the more crazy the question, the better. You also have our producer, Bender, chiming in from time to time with his, what would you call it?
Benderism?
Not wise.
with his life
experience.
Very good, John.
That's
Life
a great way to
experience.
put it.
So I'm Ray Stoltz. This is Liz, Alyssa, John. We're all here to take questions and, give you our best shot. So, Bender, what's our first question?
All right. So, some of these have come from when we were on hiatus. So, if they're old, they're a little old. But
Gotcha.
It says, I have jumped from relationship to relationship, none lasting more than a few months. It has me thinking, do long-term relationships even exist anymore? I don't know of anybody who has one. So, my question is, do they exist? Are any of you in one now? Or do you know anyone in a long-term healthy relationship?
That's me right now. I broke up with someone that I thought was the love of my life, and I'm now doing that. I was hopping around, but after that, it was just kind of unfulfilling, and now I'm 8 months celibate.
Wow.
But I call it
8 months.
Well, I call it celibacy now because it sounds trendy. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, I haven't gotten laid in 8 months. Now I just say I'm celibate, and everyone's like, you go, girl. It's
John's like, oh yeah,
the stock plummets.
John's like,
plummeting.
Yeah, I'm celibate. Yeah,
as we speak.
Yeah, so
that's what the cool kids say.
It's an interesting question because, it's changed so much. The whole entire dating scene. Mm-hmm. I was just talking about this with a friend of mine. Before, you'd go to a bar because that's where the women were. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You'd go out, you would get some drinks and talk to women. And now bars are there's some, but it's not like it was. There used to be a bar every block, and you were just going from bar to bar to bar to see what's going on. Now, with online and, Tinder and all those different...
I haven't met a girl at a bar ever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're 21. Exactly. That's the deal.
He's been going to bars since he was 19.
Yeah. But
for legal purposes.
But so, Bender, the question is, do long-term relationships exist?
Yeah. They do.
Go ahead, John. What do you think?
I'm 21, and I'm engaged. So
Aww.
I've been together with her since high school, since junior year of high school.
Aww, high school sweethearts.
So yeah, high school sweethearts.
That's adorable.
We're a little early, some say.
Liz.
Well, I married my college campus lust.
Oh.
And I've been married for 32 years.
Now, wait, let me ask you. Did you lust after him, then get him in college? Or you were like, oh, I want me some of that, and then met him later?
I said all of that. I want me some of that. And then that happened.
No, in college?
In college.
Oh, okay.
She got some of that.
Yeah. Nice.
I snagged
What's
that.
that Ariana
right
Grande
up.
song? I saw it. I liked it. I got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Was he a professor or anything?
Yeah. Was he
No.
responsible for your history grade?
No,
Okay.
he was not. But I will say this. I think that having the perspective of being with the same person since I was 19 years old, you're not, people change constantly. And if you're not changing, you're not growing. And you have to learn how to change with your partner, and you have to accept that different versions of them show up in response to you growing and evolving you're supposed to. And it's hard.
And at different times.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh, and then you have to decide whether is this person growing in that direction, or did their grandmother die and they hate where they work right now and all this shit's going on, and they'll snap out of it if they were in a better position and get back to more of who they were.
Right.
That's really when I talk about those things and people, people ask me about it. I say, you're together, and when you're like John, right? And you guys met when you were what, 18?
16.
16, right? So you meet when you're 16 and you're on this pathway. You don't know if that person's going to, be a hardcore Trumpy, which is against everything you believe in, or that person's going to be a Biden
Right
guy.
after we graduated, we actually broke up for a few months. And then about a month or two into college started, we got back together because we were just kind of like, all right, yeah, we're going to go feel out what else there is, I guess, for lack of better terms. And we came back together.
Yeah, that's different. That's sowing your oats. I'm talking about as you are in a relationship for 32 years, you're like, this person's not the person they were when they were 18. Like, your husband's not even in the same realm of man that he was when he was 18. And when you're talking about, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about long-term growth, because you're like, oh, we decided to break up and then go, whatever.
And I mean, we're not even, it's only been 5 years, but we haven't even been the same people that we were back in high school.
Sure.
Especially,
Exactly.
I feel like you do most of your growing those first few years right after you become an adult and you go out on your own and you live on your own for the first time. That's kind of where I did most of my growing.
Well, so far. Exactly. Like, that's just.
And maybe Liz has a better
I will
explanation.
I will say that I think that growth is like a never-ending process. But phases of life mark those times where, like, you graduate from high school and then you like get your big boy job or your whatever, and then you have children, and then that's another phase. And so there are certain markers throughout life that, like, basically fundamentally force you to, up your game. And I'd be curious to know if the person who wrote in the question was male or female, because there's this huge movement right now that's been just popping on my feed like everywhere about this 90-day rule. Like, there's this, from a female perspective, okay, there's this whole like neuropsychology of like dating where you are supposed to like, lock that shit down for like 90 days.
No fucking for 90
days. No fucking, no sleepovers, no making out, no nothing.
Really?
If you are looking for your life partner, like, sleeping with a man is not going to make that man fall in love with you. Making that man chasing.
I don't know what For You page you're on, but that is not on mine.
Well, I'm a mature woman, right? And there are, I have
her
a lot.
algorithm's a little different.
My algorithm is way different, and I've got a lot of women, a lot of friends that are around my age that are divorced and trying to find like a life partner. And it's the Wild West out there, y'all.
Well,
like, these dating apps are like, woof.
But you're talking about finding a partner. You have, half of men out there just trying to fuck.
Exactly.
Oh, I would say
and if you're down with that,
what I say 50?
Yeah, I'd say 90.
I don't want to say higher. Bro code made me say 50, but it
Bro
really
code.
probably is.
Later on in the show, like future episodes, I will bring out my dating apps and show you the pickup lines that these guys say. It's terrible.
Oh
out
my
here.
God.
But I don't
That's
know
a
about
whole
that
episode on its own.
Tell me, well,
the 90-day thing, I want to go back to that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that, or disagree. I'm sorry. Disagree with that 100%. I mean, even making out, like, they suggest you don't do that either.
What if he's a bad kisser?
Here's the thing.
Like,
I'm
you
not
just wasted
saying-
90 days of your life.
I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with this plan. I'm saying that this woman, this page is called like Hope with Holly or something if you're interested. And she was coached by this relationship coach in like Canada or something. And basically the whole premise is you are vetting people. Like, if you're just looking to get laid, like, if you're a woman, you got it made. Like, who, what I mean? Like, there's no judgment.
who wants to fuck? And 8 people raise their hand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only 10 people in the room.
But if you are looking for like a life partner, if you're looking for like a best friend and a companion and like a bedmate and all of that shit that you want for like the rest of your life, you're vetting. She calls it vetting a stranger. Mm-hmm. And so while you're getting, she calls it dick drunk too. Like, if you're basically getting it on with somebody who you've met like twice out and you're like getting down and dirty, like, you're just, your hormones are taking over your brain power. And for women, sleeping with a guy is a lot different than a guy sleeping with a girl. Those attachments form very differently between the sexes.
Facts.
And so I can understand where she's coming from, and I can also say like, oh, when you're horny and like it's like right there. It's hard to say like kind of no to that. So.
I get it.
I like
go
it.
I mean,
ahead,
and
Alyssa.
I haven't dated.
Yeah.
Let's just make
See,
it clear.
yeah,
I haven't
exactly.
been on. I haven't been on a date in like 35 years.
Yeah.
So.
I like it because it gives me 90 days to like.
There she is.
I'm gonna
yeah.
disappoint them. So, like I could build up like something
Well,
else.
one quick point I have. Donnie always used to say. Donnie used to be on the old show. Donnie would always say, "Listen, if you have any red flags in that first month, you need to eject immediately because that's his best." It doesn't get any better than that. Like, people are on their best behavior in the first 90 days. They take their shoe off and chase you down the street. That's like red flag.
I feel like even even after 90 days.
John, you've never watched any of the old shows.
I have not.
No, so Alyssa, I'm interested in your perspective. I want to hear what you think.
Me
'Cause
So my long-term relationships have started, like the ones I'm thinking about, they all have been guys that I slept with on the first night. My baby daddy, he literally did say the very first thing, I'm going to get you pregnant, and he did. No,
You can't really blame him at that
night.
point.
That's
you know?
a pickup
The
line.
power
I
of
mean,
intention.
honestly, that's a
And-
pickup line. That boy said, "I'm going to get you
Yeah,
pregnant."
I was
Freak
21
nailed
years
it.
old.
He did
stupid.
not
Okay.
lie.
Yeah, and he did. I mean, explaining that to mom and dad was interesting. And then there was 3 after that where I did sleep with them on the first day because everything was so awesome. But now that you're talking about the hormones and stuff like that, yeah, I was definitely dick drunk.
Sure.
Especially in the very beginning, to where I did overlook those red flags and all of those relationships because the sex was so good that I didn't care to really evaluate the whole entire situation. So now that you worded it that way, I'm starting to think like maybe I need to start following her and
Well, and
getting some
here's-
You're already 8
Here's
advice.
the
months
other
in,
thing.
girl.
You already got 8 months
8
ahead
months,
of you.
right?
Like, again, we talk about these things when you're lonely, right? Or you're horny, or you're emotionally compromised. Your dog died and you're sad. All these things, to Liz's point, push you into comfort. And fucking's comfort. It's not only fun, it's comfort. Because for women get a lot of comfort out of sex. It's not just getting off for women as much as it is for guys. Yeah, exactly. It's just that hit of dopamine. And here's something else interesting that, we didn't think about the last show or the last time we had the show. Think of all the dopamine hits people get every day with that phone. You know what I mean? They're just watching videos. I mean, we love you and keep watching our videos. But think of all the dopamine hits you get constantly. Does a person have to give you like constant dopamine hits for you to like interest? You know what I mean? Like, is our level of dopamine now like here just on a phone? So some dude's got to like, match exceed that. What? I don't know. It's just an interesting point that just came to me. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyhow, let's get back to the question. Kind of wrap it up. Liz, long-term relationships, they happen. Look, she's sitting right next to me.
They exist. They do exist, but they're work, and it ain't fun. And there are days when you want to smother your spouse or partner in their sleep.
We don't talk about criminal activity on this show.
I mean,
I'm just
Alleged.
he was a cop.
If-
I'm just saying.
I'm
This
just
is-
saying. He ever gets
theoretical.
smothered in his sleep. Guess who they're pointing at? Yep.
It's fine. I won't do it.
Okay.
I'm just saying, relationships are work, and love is an action verb, and that's But if you see these red flags, and it takes 2 people to be interested in advancing that relationship. One person can't be doing all the work. It has to be both people wanting that relationship to grow and sustain and continue.
Agreed. John?
I think that on top of that, it needs to be trust. You need a lot of trust in order for that to continue.
Agreed.
I know long-term relationships exist. 5 years might not be super long, but that's still what almost a quarter of my life.
I think
it's
that
interesting that you put it that way.
I think it's long for his age group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially
I
with
know a
all the
lot of
dating
people who
apps.
were together after high school, just in my high school alone, and a lot of them have broken up already. There's only a small handful of us still together.
Yeah. Alyssa?
The original,
Nope. Next. No, go ahead.
The original question about long-term relationships. I'm more on the no side just because of my own personal experiences. Going back to what you said about how you don't see people at bars, you don't meet people organically like you do back in the day. Now it's so easily accessible to go on Facebook dating, Tinder, all these apps that are available to where you kind of lose that face-to-face interaction. And also, too, I've noticed with people hiding behind their phones, people are bold. They don't mind their manners as much.
Oh, yeah.
There's things that are said to me on the phone that I know people would not say
And a lot
to
of
a
them
female
aren't
in
their
person.
authentic selves.
Oh, I mean,
Especially dating apps.
Yes, that, and also too, like very boldly sexual. Where I would feel like if you were to say that in public in a bar, like you'd be kicked out and banned from that bar for life. So I'm kind of leaning towards no, just from my own personal experiences. But I totally understand with what you guys are saying, though.
Yeah. I believe in them. You know what I mean? I'm on my second marriage, and it's great. We've only been married for about a year, so it's not like it's a crazy long amount of time. But I think all these things come into play. You have to have trust. You have to know going in that it's work. You both have to decide that's what you want to do. It's not easy when you're in Alyssa's shoes, and like Liz said, you know, it's the Wild West out there. You're trying to find a needle in a haystack, and then not only that, all the hay is trying to fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to find, you know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to find the one guy who's interested in a relationship, because all the needles, all the hay is saying, yeah, I want a relationship. And then, you know, and they don't.
And none of the needles want to fuck the hay.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
For 90 days, apparently.
Well, I mean, I agree with the fact that you should. I don't know if 90 days is the answer, but I mean, I would say that if someone is still piquing your interest in 90 days, then that person seems like a viable person that you could actually have a long-term relationship
Right.
with. But the question is, do they exist? And it's a little bit of a mixed bag for us, you know what I mean? But they do exist. There's people, you know, when you go on a cruise, they do that game show, and there's always people who have been there for like 90 years. You know, there's you know, they have the newlyweds, and they have the like 10
The
years,
50
and
years,
20
60
years.
year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it does exist. Are those people happy? Would they have ejected? That's a good question. Would they have ejected like those 90-year-old relationships? Would they have ejected? You know, like, hey, would you still have done this? They might say yeah, but then some might be like, I would have got out when I was 40.
I will say that I think that happy word is the qualifier. How many people are happily partnered up right now? Mm-hmm. And so you cannot go into a relationship expecting to be happy all the time, because that does not exist.
Yeah.
Okay, the relationships are work, and there's going to be tough times.
Yeah, they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks for writing. What was the name, Bender?
No names. I didn't save any of the
no
names.
name.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're just keeping it
no.
anonymous.
Anonymous, bro. Thanks, anonymous viewer, and we'll I don't know, go on to the next one.
All right. I am married going on 10 years. Recently, I have been having intimate chats online with a male friend. Nothing has happened but flirtatious conversation. But I know if the roles were reversed, I would be furious. I haven't talked to my friend in a while. Should I tell my husband or just not do it going forward? Not do it meaning continuing the conversations.
That ending is a loaded question.
So
Should I tell him?
Yes.
Oh, that's such a hard question. Liz, what do you think?
Married 10 years.
Here's the thing. I this is unpopular opinion, I know, but just cease and desist, ho. Stop it. And don't continue, and don't say anything, and, you know, just try to forgive yourself for that BS. That's a sign that you're not getting something. I mean, are you just flirting to be flirty, and it's just like getting a little out of hand?
It sounds like it's just for attention.
Do you have like feelings for this person? Like, you need to examine the motives behind like why you are doing this business.
Well, that's where my head goes. Like, why are you doing it? Number one. So, John, what are you thinking?
Whew, me first? I mean, I guess
no,
I guess she went first.
Liz is first.
I don't know. I don't. The right thing to say is
Your fiance's
tell him.
watching.
I know, right? Yeah. Tell him. I don't know. I feel like it's different for everyone in their situation. I think telling them is the best thing and the healthiest thing moving forward long term. But if it's not going to happen again, and you can assure that it's not going to happen again, you have to have some type of trust with your partner there. So, like Liz said, like if you're gonna stop and you're not gonna do it again, you have to learn that lesson, and you have to either tell him or figure out why you were doing that and change that, or
I feel
just
like
make sure you're not
John's
going to
been
go
in a
back.
relationship for 5 years. That's how I feel. Alyssa, next.
I personally don't play that. Like if
No,
I would come out and say something. Absolutely,
You
I
would-
think
if
that's
you
the right
were
thing
to
After
to do.
10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I do think that there's got to be something that's not being emotionally fulfilled, and you kind of got to nip that problem right there because it's going to snowball and get out of control. I love attention. I feel like women like attention. She's getting that attention from another man for some reason. I'm curious about how sexually charged these conversations are. If it's just harmless flirting,
Say
or
it again, Bender.
Pardon?
Say it again. What's the sexually?
It says just having intimate chats.
Intimate.
chat.
So if it's like sexually intimate, like,
Are there
or
pictures?
is
Is
it
it just flirting?
more, or is it just like
Does
about
any of
their
that matter?
deepest, darkest secrets?
I mean, does any of that matter?
I
think
think
it
I
does.
think there is a limit.
Wait. As soon as you do anything that is intimate, that's it. Pictures doesn't matter. As soon as you have done something where you know your partner would be saddened by.
I think there's a limit there, though. I think there is.
Okay, so
Like I
you're
want- like-
saying come clean.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Do you mean something like a light conversation about like, oh, it'd be fun to like see you and catch up, or a photo of her sucking some dude's
That's
dick?
not
No,
that's
more
not intimate.
like-
No. Hey, we should catch up and talk about. You're talking about intimate.
Like
Intimate
actual
means-
flirty.
Intimate means flirting, and flirting to the.
But then there's a
But
difference.
there's flirting and then there's cheating, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
ex-
there's flirting with conversation.
hinting
and then
at
there's
wanting
photos.
to cheat
Let
and
me-
actually cheating.
hey,
Where's that line?
Here's
Yeah.
my question, John. Would your fiance? Would you want her to read it?
That's another way to
That's
put
the
it.
deal.
That-
Would
so
you- if-
so is that how you're viewing it? Do you think that they would
If
be
you say
saddened by it?
intimate, you know you don't want your fiance.
Of
to
course.
read it. Exactly.
Of course.
So that's what level we're going to go with
Yeah.
right now for this question. Here's my take. Number one, you're not getting something. You're not getting fulfilled, right? The something at home is not as good as it should be because you're looking for something else. If you tell that person, that's going to ruin your relationship, just so you know. Like, it's happening. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't care how good your relationship is. When you tell that person that you're having intimate conversations with someone else, that relationship, put a fucking bullet in it, bro. It's gone, right? So, should you tell? Yes. Will it end your relationship? Also, yes. However, my question for this person would be, what got you there? If you're going to tell him, then the cards are going to fall the way they fall. If you're not
But
going to,
is it going to end? That's another
it's
thing.
going to end.
Are you okay with it ending?
Well, that's what I mean. You know that it's going to end. The cards are going to fall whichever way they fall. If you
But
are,
I know many relationships that people have cheated in and it didn't end.
Well,
Okay.
I have a friend who got divorced over an emotional affair.
Exactly.
And I think that if this person can check themselves and basically if they're just playing, there's a very like uncertain dynamic here of, is this person flirting with intent?
Yeah.
And they need to figure out why. And if they can't figure out why through whatever therapy or self-reflection or whatever it happens to be, there is a point in time where they have to look at their relationship and
Say, I'm
disclose
not
to
getting what I need.
right. They're so are you just being a stinker, or are you like willing to
Are
put
you
this
actually-
relationship
yeah.
at risk? And so I do believe, to Alyssa's point, like the right thing to do is to disclose that.
Sure.
However, I do feel like a period of having been married since I was, a very young person, having the perspective of like, you know what, everybody chooches something somewhere.
Everybody what?
Chooches it, the chooch, you fuck it up. That's
Okay.
another word for
Gotcha.
fucking it up is chooching it,
Yeah.
Like everybody makes mistakes. And I think that if you can course correct and figure out why you are flirting with this person in an intimate way behind your partner's back, if you can figure that out, then and get back to your relationship and fix your end of your relationship. You can't change anybody. You can only fix your own behavior and your own feelings and yada yada. We all know that. But at the same time, like if that is not happening with you trying to course correct, that is the point in time where you have to say to your partner, I've been doing this stuff and I've tried to like figure it out, and something in our relationship is janky and we need to like work on this right now.
Right.
So I feel like that's the point. If you can't figure it out, you got to disclose.
That is the deal. Like, you have to decide. Yeah, I mean, something's not right in your relationship. Something's not good enough. You're not getting everything you need. Because if you were getting everything you need, you wouldn't. I don't put myself in those situations. Number one, I don't give a fuck. I just don't do it. I know better. I mean, I'm older, so I can see danger before I get there. You know what I mean? The older you are, the sooner you realize danger. You know what I mean? The younger you are, the less you realize danger. And it's not a shot on younger people. It's only because, oh shit, because I fucked up before.
He said, I've done this before.
Yeah, well,
I've
no.
seen this film
You don't want to
before.
catch up. You want to catch up on this dick. No, no, delete and end. You know, that kind of deal. So, yeah, no, you're not getting me. Not again. No.
Not again.
So, I think the right thing is to come clean. I don't think you should come clean. I agree with Liz. You know what I mean? And
If you can work on it, work on it. But make sure you fix it.
knock that shit off. And if you're not knocking it off, then you should, for your partner's sake, you're just going to hurt that person. If you care about that person at all, you should either buckle down and fix what's fucked up, figure out what's fucked up. And if you can't figure out what's fucked up, then end it. Right? Because if it's not going to work, it's not working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All
Do
right,
you
buddy,
think
I'm
it's
sorry.
cheating if your boyfriend or girlfriend likes other men or women's photos on Instagram or X when they are obvious thirst traps?
No.
No.
No,
This person does.
that's kid shit.
That's kid shit.
Yeah. There's
Like-
plenty of attractive people in the world. I like looking at them all, and
Men and women
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean,
I like the pictures of Ryan Reynolds with his shirt off.
well, see, that's
not gay,
That's
so.
a great question. Like, do you like everyone's pics, or do you only like this one chick's pic?
Yeah, that is true.
You know what I
That
mean?
is
Like,
there's a
are
difference.
you hoping
yeah.
this one chick messages you back or follows you back or what the fuck ever? You know, it is kid shit. I kind of agree with Liz in the fact that, come on, man, grow the fuck up. We get,
Right.
you know, it just is what it is. But I could see why someone would be upset.
Well, you got to be an equal opportunity liker.
Yeah,
You know,
good
you
call.
got to just
Yeah.
like spread the love out. You can't be focused in on a certain hoe.
Well, do you care?
Amen.
If I mean, I guess you ask yourself the question, because all these questions are like, what do we think? Whereas I would turn it back on this person. Do you care that he?
How much does it
or
bother
she-
them? That's
Yeah. Number one, what level does it bother you? Number
Yeah.
two, what if if this is a girl telling us? Is this a girl or a guy?
I think this is coming from a guy. The email address sounds masculine.
Okay, so does she care if you like, you know, cooking with Kaya? You know what I mean? Does she care if you hit like, you know what I mean, like that kind of deal? Like, is it mutual? Because, you know, everyone's relationship is different. I mean, you can be in
Yeah.
relationships where you don't care if the other person touches another girl's tits as long as they come home to you. You know, so that would be another question. You know, like, how open is your relationship? You know, all these questions are like, well, it depends on if your partner's cool with it.
I've been on the receiving end of that, though, from angry females attacking me because their boyfriends have liked my stuff. And then, I've actually had a coworker of mine, distant coworker, actually post a photo of me on her Facebook and just let people go to town and call me a huge slut and everything like that. And yeah, I've been on the opposite end. Yeah, I went to HR over that too. Where I get accused of, you know, are you fucking my man? No, like, just because he liked my picture. Then it happens more often than you think, where
Interesting.
there's a lot
but
of
I can if I
insecure-
want.
No one ever likes my
back
dick
up.
pics on Instagram. I put my dick on there constantly. Not one like.
Everybody likes my food pics.
Reported
I will
every
say
day.
that.
Let me tell you something. Here's
Food or food?
Food.
Food.
So Here's another thing that I did, because I got my fucking Facebook hacked, and if anyone in whatever land can figure out how to get my Facebook back, I got fucked, and it's like my picture and someone else's email underneath there, and I'm old, so I don't have a fucking authentication app that they want me to fucking use. I don't have that, but so I lost my 3,000 and some friends. Well, these isn't a lot, but it was how I saw when people's birthdays were up and shit like that. It's like I used it for business and all that shit. Anyhow, side note. I don't like anything on any platform. Never. I don't care how much your pork chops make me want to jerk off. I am not hitting that like button. I don't care.
Mine's
Never.
impulse.
Why?
I hit them all the
Because
time.
then when you say, you didn't like my pic, I had my titties just right and the light was perfect and you didn't hit like. I say, I don't like anything on. I've never hit the like button.
So how do you get like an algorithm that you like?
I don't fucking care. I don't care.
You sound like
Like
the
how do
Grinch.
you?
They
Yeah.
know. Listen, how come the algorithm works for me?
Because well,
No,
certain
John.
like TikTok, yes, but like Facebook and Instagram, I liked a few things on Facebook like 3 years ago, and it was like a certain game, and I'm still getting stuff about. I haven't played that game in
Sounds
3
fucking
years.
annoying
I'm
to
still
me.
getting it
exactly
because I liked it.
Because you liked it exactly. If you wouldn't have liked it in the first place, there's my proof. If I don't like that, I don't have that shit. But they do send me. My algorithms still put down stuff that I find interesting, and I've never hit the like button. If I hit the fucking heart by accident, oh shit! And
You'll
I hit the
unlike
heart
it?
again, and I unlike that shit. Yeah, exactly. Because people like Alyssa don't go, you didn't like that picture I sent to you. I said, I don't like anything. That's it. And, you know, your
got
girlfriend,
a
your wife, your
scapegoat.
whatever. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. Don't like anything. That's it.
I
Hate
think-
everything.
He just comments on like all like the really hot girls stuff, and he's like, "Hey, beautiful." That's right.
That's me. Skeezer.
I don't like
Hey,
anything.
honey.
Just don't check the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
He makes a little red frowny face at
Exactly,
everything. I think that there needs to be, not today, but I think that it should be considered that there is like this epidemic of insecurity in I don't want to say young people and sound like a big asshole, but like there seems to be this really aggressive and public insecurity. Like if you're with a partner, and I mean people are audacious on social media. Like I date.
Google Audacious put on the screen for me.
I dated my husband when we had to like talk in person and talk on the telephone and get to know each other and meet each other out. Like it's a very different world now, meeting and dating.
Could you make that bigger?
And all
That's
of
the
that
wrong
stuff.
word.
Audacious, audacity. That's like the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that like, you know, if you are a person who is flipping shit because your, you know, partner is like liking somebody's post or picture, again within reason and spreading the love, like. A woman has we have intuition and we kind of like know. And so instead of attacking Alyssa, basically go to the person who's like the perp and say like,
Yeah, go to your boyfriend.
this is upsetting to me.
Yeah.
Like what is going on? Like this is not okay. Like learn some freaking boundaries and say like, this is not okay. You can continue to do what you're doing and I'll decide if I'm sticking around for that.
And here's the other thing I'll say,
Period.
I always say, if my girlfriend cheats on me, I'm not mad at him.
Yeah.
At all.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. That dude doesn't know me. He doesn't
Right.
owe me shit.
He doesn't care.
Now, if he's my
Yeah.
friend, that's one thing. But if you're just some dude who bangs my girlfriend or wife or who the fuck
She
ever,
made that okay.
she's the fucking problem, not
Yep.
him. He's
Yeah.
just getting his
He's
dick
got a clear
wet.
conscience.
He doesn't give
Yeah.
a fuck. He doesn't know me.
He's
He's not doing
single.
something wrong. She, however, told me that when we're in a relationship, we're only going to be fucking with each other. So when you say things like, you know, go to the source, that's exactly what you need to do. Don't go fucking get pissed. I'm sure that's what Alyssa said. Alyssa said, don't fucking bitch at me. Your man's the one who's liking my shit. Get a handle on your man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know where that, where are we at in that rant? What was the question about
If
it?
they getting jealous, if it's okay for them to like other
Is it a
people's
is
stuff.
yeah? Is like
Yeah,
other
like
people's stuff
nothing.
a form of
Hate
cheating?
it all.
So
It's not. Yeah.
All right.
I thought this would be like the shortest answer ever, and then we just went on
We're
like
like,
10 tangents.
Nope. Everyone says no.
There's no
Says
definitive
no.
answer to that question,
Yeah,
basically, is the
exactly.
bottom line.
Which all these questions, and that's what our show is about. There's never going to be a definitive answer, you know, but you can get, you know, Alyssa's opinion, my opinion, you know, John's opinion. Like everyone has their own kind of opinion. And like when Alyssa says, oh, well, I was on the receiving end of that shit, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. that's what this show is about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's interesting. I would have never looked at it from her point of view if she wasn't sitting right next to me. Nice. All right, Bender, what's up?
Some of these questions we've answered with just talking, but here's one. I realized after a year of dating that I have nothing in common with my partner. We both like to go to nice restaurants, and he loves to buy me things. It's his love language. But when it comes to our personalities, we have nothing in common. So my question is, do opposites really attract, or am I just wasting my time?
He's rich. Keep him. Next.
Yeah.
Alyssa's like, ooh, what kind of shit?
No, I'm like,
What kind of shit does he buy you?
do you guys want a third in your relationship?
Nice. So, Alyssa, what do you think?
I think instead of looking, there's, yes, you have the common interest, but deeper than that, you need to look at what your guys' love languages are. Because if that's his love language, what's yours, and like how people receive love and how they give love. To me, that's the most important thing compared to like what your interests are.
What you're saying is his love language is give gifts. Your love language is not receiving gifts.
Acts of service.
I'm just curious what that person's love language is. Like, do they enjoy receiving gifts?
Well,
And-
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't.
It's- yeah, it
Because
sounds
not
like
doing
it.
it for them. You know
Right.
what I mean? So, do you train your partner up?
I
You
think
know what I mean?
it's
Is he worth training up? Is he worth saying,
How
"Listen,
good is
bro,
the dig? If not, leave. You know?
Ding, 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 ding.
I got you.
Yeah, but is it, yeah, but that you say how good is a dick? You can get dick anywhere.
But it
But
depends. No,
good?
not
What
good
do you
dick.
mean?
No, that's a big
No.
difference.
No, it's not. 'Cause say the dick's good, you're still in a relationship with that person. I've had women who were fucking fantastic in bed.
But crazy.
No fucking way, I'm out. That was great. We had a good time. You know, no, I don't. I mean,
Why'd
that's
you do?
it.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you dip out?
Because she's fucking crazy. Because
Yeah, but if they're a decent person, there's like the crazy hot scale, right?
sure.
Goes the same way with sex, how good they are in bed. And crazy.
Yes, but what she's saying is, and what clearly is the question, is that we don't get along. Take away the sex, take away the gifts. The relationship is not working for her, and she
Yeah.
wants to know, you know, if the sex was so good, she wouldn't be asking this question. She's basically asking, what should I do, or should I eject? You know. Go ahead. What do you think?
It sounds like she's already got one foot out the door.
That's
I
where
think
my head's
think
at.
so too,
Yeah.
because especially after a year that you don't understand your guys' each other love languages, and we kind of could get into another tangent of conversation too. Attachment styles in a relationship
Yep.
is extremely important
100%.
too. So,
Bender, look up attachment styles.
oh, it's
It's
to
a whole
me,
thing.
especially with dating. Kind of like getting off sidetrack, but my last boyfriend was avoidant, and I have an anxious attachment, and that was.
That
that's just-
combo.
I don't know what
Yes.
that means.
Yeah.
Attachment
Yes.
styles are patterns of waiting to others to develop a childhood.
I will say this too: if this person is writing in because they like feel like they don't have a lot in common, I mean, if you're in a relationship for a year, there's obviously like love there, and if you're questioning, this might be a point in time where it's like, is this salvageable?
But is there love there if after a year she's saying that they don't really get along?
Did she say that though, or she
Something
said we
like
don't
that.
have a lot in common?
They don't
or
have
we
a lot
don't
in
have
common.
They don't have a lot in
interests?
common.
And
Okay,
so
I got you.
basically, if you know, if you're with somebody and you love to go out and hike and be in nature, and this person likes to be home, and you know, there can be compromises there.
Sure.
There can be a conversation to be had. I mean, this person just has to decide if this person, is this a good person? Is this a person
Yeah,
that
are
they
they
care
worth
for?
it?
Like, sometimes the only thing you really need is kind of like a course correct and some communication. But again, if you're like not married and you don't have children and you're just like, I'm kind of over this right now, and like, you know, these gifts or whatever. And maybe she has said in the past, is this a female? I'm sorry.
Yes.
So maybe she has said in the past, like, I don't really care about the gifts, but I would really love to go to like on vacation to whatever, Cook's Forest or whatever it happens to be.
Or rich people
Like,
do.
Whatever rich people
So-
do. Yeah.
So, Liz, let me ask you a question. Like, what I think of when I hear you talking about that, I feel like the older you get, the less likely you need your partner with you all the time. Is that true? Because, like, I don't know, is it because you're more comfortable and you're like, oh, you want to go to do kickboxing? All right, have a good time. You know what I mean? Whereas John and his fiance, he's going to go to kickboxing with her, even though he hates it. Do you know what I mean? And even though he's like, oh, God, fuck, okay, so I'll go to kickboxing. Do you know what I mean? But
I buy her books just so I can play games on my own. So.
I think that's very individual.
But, I mean, that's my
very
question. 'Cause
very individual.
I'm asking you
Yeah.
because the older I get, the more I feel like that's, when I was younger, I did everything with my spouse and my person. And now if she said, hey, I want to take some sort of class and I'm not interested in it, I'm kind of more comfortable saying, well, do you want me to go? And she'd be like, no, I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like that kind of deal.
I don't know if that's an age thing.
I don't know.
I will tell you that women do not get everything they need from their spouse / partner / whatever. And our female connections are very fulfilling and important to us, I believe. And so I think that it's healthy for people who are married or dating or, connected.
You're talking about like having girlfriends.
To have like separate interests.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine to have separate interests and then to have interests that you have in common. Like, I don't think it's super healthy to do every single thing together with your person. I think it's healthier and more fulfilling to do stuff like, apart every now and again. Like, I don't want to be my husband's sole source of entertainment. Like, not even a little bit.
It's exhausting.
It is
So what do you
exhausting.
think?
It is exhausting, and it doesn't like fill my cup. And I know that probably sounds super selfish, but like I do, and this is the kind of person that I am. Also, we raised our kids. He was a cop and worked steady second shift for like 10 years. And so he had like day shift while I went to work my full-time job. And then I would, come home and do like night shift. And then a couple days a week, we would do like together stuff or family stuff or whatever. And then like when he would get a day off, like when
Get this fucking guy
and
away
I'm
from
like,
me.
you are totally chooching my entire schedule right now. Like he would mess up the whole thing. But I'm just saying that like I think that there's a healthy balance there. I also think it's a very individual thing. Like there are people who just really want to spend as much time as they can with their person. But I find my girlfriends and time with them and like outside interests apart from my spouse.
That is my question.
Very
Is it
fulfilling.
an age thing? Because the older I get, the more I feel that way.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Alyssa, what do you think?
Back to the question, it sounds like the only things that they did together was she got gifts and they went out to eat. And that's after a year. That to me is a little boring. It sounds like they really haven't done much together. I think after a year, that's a direction that it's going. And I would.
What do you think about the comments of everybody doing stuff together? Because you're in your 30s, right? I'm in my 40s. She's in her 50s. Like, what level of together is right for you, comfortable for you as you get approaching your 40s? Do you feel like you don't need to be doing as much together, or?
Well, it's difficult for me to answer just because of my own personal situations. My last two relationships were long-term, not long-term, long-distance relationships.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with, we both were okay with having the, obviously we had no choice but to be okay, but I'm okay with it. I don't need somebody, but if they were closer, if I dated somebody in Erie, I would probably be up their ass 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was my question. And I don't know the answer. That's why I was asking. Like, is it, like John, you guys do everything together?
We do a lot of stuff together, but I mean, even over the past few years, we've started doing our own things. We have our own hobbies, and I just have things going on. Like she works weird hours sometimes, so I end up doing things on my own all the time, and then she does the same.
Yeah.
So I have two adult sons. One is 27, and he has a partner, Lily, and they do like everything together. And then I have a younger son who's 21, and he has like a girlfriend of like 2.5 years. And she recently did move, but even when they were like together, proximally, they had like time with each other and then time with each of their friends. He's like a frat boy, so he had a lot of responsibility for that stuff. But I think it's very individual. I think it's the kind of person that you are, and I do think that age does play a role in that. The longer, and it's not necessarily an age thing. Maybe it's the tenure of your relationship. Maybe it's how long you've been together, where you feel like maybe, you know what, we have this and this and this together, and I'm interested in trying this.
That is actually
I
more
do
what
kind
I
of
was thinking,
see,
like the longer you're together, more than it was an age thing.
Yeah,
It's-
so you're
it's
more
kinda
secure
what
in
I
the
was thinking.
relationship or whatever.
That's really kind of because I'm, you think about That's
But a
interesting.
year, like,
Yeah,
there
within
should
a
be
year.
more
Listen,
more than that than just
and
going
you
out
have-
to dinner.
That's like honeymoon time.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
should.
Yeah.
You should still.
You guys
be
should
like,
wanna be all over each other.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I would say
Could
you
this
need to.
person be the side chick? I'm actually thinking that right now. You're
It
only meeting up for
could
dinner and getting
be.
gifts.
That
You
is-
might be the
gifts?
side chick.
Bazinga.
Honestly,
Right back in. Let us know.
Yeah. Are you the side
I
chick? I have a
actually
question for you.
I watched a video yesterday, and this girl was hooking up with this guy. Thought they were dating. They lived 45 minutes apart. Thought they were dating for 2 years. Found out he had a girlfriend that was pregnant, 6 months pregnant. 2 years later,
Back off
they're
the
still fucking. After 2 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
she might be the side chick.
Yeah. Bender.
Do you think they're
He's
the side
bored.
chick bender?
He's bored. He's off.
That is
He's-
definitely on the table.
He's playing Pokemon on his phone.
I gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
I'm still reading attachment styles.
No, I agree. That sounds like a side chick. It really does.
Well, yeah.
So next
My
question.
advice. So final. I guess I would say talk it out. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like talk it out. What's the deal? Is it gonna work? Maybe it's just it's something you could correct with a couple conversations of
or maybe he's been thinking
gifts
about
don't
it.
whatever. Yeah, that's another good
And
call.
maybe he
might
didn't
feel
wanna
the
say
same
anything.
way.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's been times where I've been with girls and I've just been like, is this good for you? Is it whatever? She's like, and we're like, cool, man. I feel the same way. Shake hands,
Cut
high
and run.
five, and we're like, good. There doesn't have to be an enemy. You know what I mean? There doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a crazy thing. You don't have to cheat on someone just to get away from them. A conversation might be like, hey, this just isn't doing it for me, and they might feel exactly the same way and didn't want to hurt your feelings.
But I've never had those conversations before. All of mine have like nuclear
Kaboom.
bomb went down in flames.
yeah.
One ex-boyfriend have a PFA on. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
There's a
it doesn't
trend in
have to be
each
that way,
one of
people.
those.
It doesn't have to be that way.
No, it doesn't. But for me, it's maybe I'm just a oddball.
That's why you're here. We love you.
Yes.
Is that
Bender,
her
next
nickname?
question.
My friend thinks I'm being ridiculous, but I do not want to date a grown man who plays video games almost every night. It's childish and a red flag that he is not serious about his life and that he would waste his time playing a meaningful game. Am I being ridiculous?
Okay, you got to take those off there because we're reading them. You got to move those out of there.
You can
Yeah,
read
I'm
those.
still reading.
I don't want to
these.
read them. We're like reading ahead. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yes and no.
No.
Depending on how much time. But I would also appreciate the fact that you are in the house playing a video game, that you're not out in these streets entertaining other females. Also, too, like if I would,
Her takes are so interesting to me.
so I would
They're
seduce
so.
them.
I 100% agree
I would
with that.
seduce them. I would put on some lingerie. I would fuck up your video game on purpose.
That's so interesting to me.
Also, you can always. Sorry, I didn't
No,
mean to
go
talk
ahead.
over you. You can always just next. Like if that is not your jam, just move
Some
on
girls
to the
like
next.
it, some girls don't.
You know, if that is a
Look at
deal
John.
breaker for you,
John's a gamer.
there's like
So like, listen, bitch. It's my life.
there is a ton of men out there that would probably love to date you and love to be with you, and maybe curtail. But gaming is a hobby, and gaming is like mad skills.
Absolutely.
And I think that you have to think about like how you're spending your time. Like, do you have a hobby that you really love? And there needs to be respect for time. However, like if that is just something that is a deal breaker for you, like just move on to the next person.
Well, here's the other thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and it really didn't come to light to me until my friend, he's a bricklayer, and he goes to work, and he works really fucking hard, and when he gets home, his wife gives him like 40 minutes of chill time.
That's
right?
huge.
He gets 40 minutes. You can do whatever the fuck you want in those 40 minutes because you just worked for 9 hours moving fucking bricks and your life is hard and you're tired and whatever, and then you walk in the door and you get bombarded with, this kid's got this going on, this kid's got this going on, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. And it was really like, wow, that's an interesting thing, because I was like, fucking chill, like, what a bitch, just fucking do what you gotta do. In my head, a beginning, but then as I think about it, I'm like, that's a great compromise, because he gets to, decompress. And, he gets his ride home, and then he gets to decompress, and then he's got his next job, which, if you're a good dad, it's a job. It's work. You can be a dad and not do any of those things and be a shitty dad, or you can do what you have to do, but doing what you have to do is hard fucking work. So I would say duration, how often, how long, compromise. Yeah. You should be talking to this dude. If he's not budging, then you're right, fucking dust him, because there's a lot of fish in the sea, number one, even though it's hard to find a good one, if you go back to Alyssa's point.
Fair.
So, Alyssa, you'd say, I would just put on a teddy and bang him out, but what happens that's 7 minutes. What happens after that?
Is he hopping back on the game?
I'm just saying, I'm giving you my all. I'm giving you everything I got. I hang in there for 7 minutes. After that, I'm like,
that's the best 7 minutes of your life.
7 minutes is a marathon.
Listen, I'll give you the 7-minute Ray Stoltz guarantee.
That's a sorry
if it's
no
not
for
the
me.
best 7 minutes,
that's 6 minutes of kissing, by the way.
If it's not the best 7 minutes of your day, I'll reimburse you for dinner.
Is that including foreplay in those 7 minutes too?
I'll reimburse you for
think
dinner.
so.
If it's not the best
it
7
better
minutes.
That's from first contact.
I think there's worse things that they could be doing.
Yeah.
Honestly. And if
I've
video
heard
games
that,
is
yeah.
something that they enjoy doing, let them have their peace. There's so many fucked up things going on in this world, and if that gives you some peace and quiet, and that's what you enjoy doing, let that man play video games. Now, if it's to where it's imposing on his life, where it's imposing on your relationship, also because there are video game addictions. I've seen it where it creeps into your own personal life and work, and not taking care of himself if your hygiene isn't being met. Or I should say his hygiene. I've seen that happen too. Then it's definitely a problem. But no, I don't see it as being a problem. Let him have fun.
You just have to say, bro, we need to set some.
Yeah.
I
agree.
It's enough where it's bothering her, so he's playing more than just.
Than he should be.
Than she's comfortable with. Sure.
That's why she's asking the question. So you have to be open to that person. Liz is right. There's a lot of fish in the sea, but if you have a good man, to Alyssa's point, he could be doing a lot worse than fucking Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many worse things and worse places he could be. And being online and killing people virtually is giving him what he needs. You got to keep that in mind, too. That's how he decompresses from his day. That's how he does all these things. So I guess I would look at it and say, is he giving me a lot? And is this video game, the give and take?
I've actually had this problem before. There was a point in time where I was it was winter, just like it is right now. It was really cold. We didn't want to go anywhere. We didn't want to do anything. So I would just stay at home after I come home from work. I'd play video games for a few hours. We'd hang out for eat dinner or something, and then we'd go to bed or however we did it. And so she just came. She just came and talked to me, right? And she was like, "Hey, let's figure this out. Let's just not have you on as much." And it was simple. For me, I didn't think about it twice. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm coming home. I'm having some fun. I'm seeing her, and then I'm going to bed. Whatever. So she came and talked to me.
That's another great point.
You just find that good balance.
If you're sitting with him on the couch reading and he's playing whatever, he thinks you're spending quality time together.
Exactly.
Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe he thinks he's fine.
Yeah. I set up a really nice reading
ever.
chair.
I can just see her play. She loves it. And really deep down, you're hating it. So I guess you need to figure that out.
Find a balance.
So going back to our talking about love languages and stuff, because quality time is one of my love languages, I would be perfectly okay with reading a book while that person is playing video games, because that's just spending, to me, that's quality time. I'm in that person's presence.
And that's different
fine.
for everybody, yeah.
Right, so that could also not be that person writing in, that could not be their love language. They could not be okay with that. Maybe they're a physical touch type of person or access, whatever it may be, but it just sounds like, maybe a conversation needs to be had about that too, but...
I don't think it's a crazy conversation. I think you have a conversation, see how open he is, and he should be like John and be like, oh, okay, I didn't know it was bothering you. And again, don't just come at him fucking both barrels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? tiptoe into that conversation and, you know what I mean, say, yeah, blah, 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 and
can't
see
read
where
your
he's
mind.
at, because you don't want to be like,
Or
you know.
slap on some lingerie and have that conversation.
I'm saying, good
Yeah.
call.
He'll
Good
say
call.
whatever you want him to
Yeah,
say.
exactly. So your gaming's bothering me. And you're like, I hate gaming.
Yeah.
I would just say, do you want to push my button?
There you go.
There you go.
She gets it.
Faster.
All right, Bender, what's next?
We'll do one more.
Faster. All right, last question.
Yeah. What is a red flag that will make you not want to be with someone?
Oh,
Just your personal.
Let's start with Alyssa.
no, I want to hear your guys' first.
Okay. John, what's the red flag?
Oh God. There's a lot of red flags that
Like, is there something your fiance some personality trait or something that you could do, like, that would signify you, like, you know what, this is not going to work. I'm sorry. I'm done. One thing.
Only one.
vegan?
Okay.
I had a roommate. That was vegetarian, and his girlfriend was vegetarian. And God, I love them both to death. But when there's no steak in the house, when they're making chili and there's no meat in the chili, man, that really pisses you off, right?
Wow. I mean, it's kind of a hard question, to say what's a red flag.
No,
for you.
what's for you one red flag that would cause you to instantly be like, no, I'm turned off. I'm done.
Oh, so you're like saying cheating or,
Yeah, whatever.
like
Oh yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
texting.
Is
with
is that a
someone
red
else.
flag? Is cheating a red flag?
Yeah, cheating is a no
So,
go.
John, you're
That's
telling
a
me.
deal breaker.
vegan.
That's not a red
No,
flag.
wait, John's
I
fiance says, I was thinking about being vegetarian. Get the
I'm out.
fuck out of my house. I'm out.
I'm done.
I
I'm
would
done.
Okay, so
say-
red flags.
For me, financial instability. Very important. I'm 38. I feel like now is the time where you got to start really investing in your future. And I'm not bragging, but I'm a homeowner. I'm a single mom, full-time single mom, sole custody. I own a nice vehicle. I get to go on vacations. I have a 401k. I have savings. I think that's stuff that's very important to me if I'm looking to build a future with somebody. So if somebody doesn't have their shit together, and I think in your 30s you really need to, and I'm not asking for a college degree or anything like that. I'm just asking that you have your finances in order.
When I was younger, I just put this rule in, and it's probably just because I'm a narcissist, cocky asshole, but I was like, you got to make 40 G's a year or more. And this was like 20 years
More
ago.
than
so
you?
that was good money. I didn't give a shit.
No, I'm talking about you want the other person to make 40K more than you a year.
No, 40K.
Okay.
'Cause
Oh, okay.
I felt, now that 40K is probably more now because that was 20 years ago. But my mark was 40 grand. And the reason for that was you either went to college, stuck it out, got a degree, got a job, and is working in a field, and all those things are hard to do, and it sucks, and you had to hang in there when you didn't want to, or you started at a company, you stuck in there, you worked your way up, and you got to a level of where you're making, and it was around 40 grand a year. But my point was, and what I always said in my head was, if you're making 40 G's a year, you showed up when you didn't want to. You didn't
Yeah.
call in sick every fucking time you had a nose, whatever. You went when you didn't want to go. You did what you had to do, and you hung in there and got to where you are. That will translate to a relationship, because when our relationship is hard and you have a stuffy nose and the kids are whatever, you will wake up, you will get out of bed and do what you have to do. So that was always my benchmark. So when you say financial stability, I agree. It doesn't have to do with the fact, and I'm not saying there's people
It's kind
out
of like a
there-
work ethic.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a work ethic translate.
Yeah.
If you're doing that for work, you should do that for me if you love me. You don't love work as much as you love your partner, and that was always my kind of benchmark. So when you say that, I think that's wise. I don't think gold digging and all that bullshit, I don't think that that's ridiculous. I think there's and come on, it's 40 grand a year. It's not like you have to be a millionaire for me to date you. No, you have to
You have it together.
have it together. Exactly.
I was preyed upon this summer by a guy that I was casually seeing, and he didn't have it together.
Preyed upon.
I was
love
just
that.
gonna say that.
Oh, I
I
no,
love that.
definitely preyed
That's
That's
upon.
awesome.
definitely
That's-
accurate.
That's
I'm
accurate.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he claimed he was a personal trainer, and he definitely wasn't. I could have gotten this personal training certificate in the bottom of a Cracker Jack box. claimed that he was a property manager, and then he claimed all these things. In our second date, he actually went out. We went to the car dealership over at Cunningham's, and he bought a Jeep Wrangler. So yes, our second date, because he wanted to take cute Jeep.
Be like you?
Yes, but he wanted to be like that cute Jeep couple on Instagram. I was like, we're not like second date, bro. Calm down. So my credit isn't the best, but I didn't put no money down on that thing, and my payment's pretty high, but it's affordable. I actually took a $4,000 hit because I traded in my hybrid Jeep, which was terrible. So as I'm sitting there, like his payment.
The purple one was a hybrid?
No,
the
I got rid of
second
that
one.
one.
Yeah.
The second one.
The second one, okay, go on.
So he claimed he put money down on his Jeep, and his payments were still higher than mine. He claimed he put $25,000 down. None of this is making any sense.
Yeah.
So the more
this is like, I know how this goes. That's not your payment.
right.
Yeah,
And so
that's
the more
smart.
and more that I'm diving into this thing, like I went to his apartment. He lives in a very shitty apartment, and with the job that I do, I have to go to people's houses. I wouldn't even have stepped foot in there with the job that I do. It was that
Yikes.
bad. And you claim you're a property manager. Like dog poop everywhere, cat poop.
my
The cat, even the cat was a mess.
Oh, God.
Like that to me is nasty. So not only are you having like all these three jobs that you
Oh, yeah.
your house is a mess, and
Yeah.
that to me is financial instability. And
Yeah.
then to me, I'm thinking, you don't take care of yourself down there, you probably can't fuck good. Like it's all snowballing. You probably stink when you take off your
I'm
pants.
just
On a
gonna
serious
say
note.
that ain't good down there.
Oh, my
And
God.
but that's where a lot of that snowballs for me when it comes down to just taking care of your finances and having your stuff
And that,
together.
at a young age, I don't know why I had that. I don't know who. No one ever told it to me. I was always like, yeah, I want you to make this much money. And it just kind of made sense to me. But it all was stemming, like, you get your shit together.
Absolutely.
You don't stink and make 40 G's a year. Like, that's just not, that was 20 years ago. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think? Red flags. What's I mean, you've been married forever, so it's kind of hard. But
Well, I
you
will-
have a lot of friends who date,
I do.
and
I do have
you're
a lot.
always like, what the fuck are you doing? When someone's
So
dating.
judgy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a flaw. But I will say, it depends on kind of like if you're dating and you go out with somebody and they have like dirty fingernails or long fingernails. I am sorry.
Long fingernails bothers me.
Done.
Like these?
No,
No.
on a
Long-
boy.
long- on
Oh,
a
okay.
dude.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, like
straight.
these. See that? That's long
But
for me
long
right
fingernails
now.
on a woman, I find beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Okay, so that's like
Yeah.
layer one. A big thing for me is accountability. So I think that it takes a tremendous character and measure of strength for a person that you're in a relationship with to be able to say, like, I chooch that, I'm sorry that I hurt you, and then change behavior. And so, and so that's like basically being gaslit is like a huge freaking trigger for me. So if somebody's like sitting, it doesn't matter whether it's a friend or my husband or,
I'm
a
the king of the
boss or
gaslighters.
whatever the hell it happens
the
to be.
best.
If you gaslight me, forget it. Also,
I will now gaslight Liz every show.
I'm a Taurus, and so
I know what that means.
Okay.
if I
Thunder.
ask,
Then
Pull
look
that
up
up.
Taurus.
listen, yeah, I mean, we're full of flaws.
psycho,
But I will say that if I
never
actually lower myself to ask you for help and you don't show up for me, like you are literally
Stubborn,
dead to me.
patient,
Yeah.
independent, loyal.
Dead. DEAD.
That's not one of the words on here.
But
Stubborn.
so I have
So
a,
accountability.
I have
Makes
a thing,
sense.
accountability, and accountability is very important to me, and basically friending at my level, like be in a relationship with me and give at the level that I give, and
Equality.
so I have had to learn some really hard lessons as an old lady, where not everybody comes with you for this ride, and it's okay to like say goodbye to people and love them from a distance, because
They're not good for
as you grow, it triggers people.
Yeah.
As you get better and as you level up, like people get really, they either don't like it, they either come with you or they don't, and you have to be able to say to them, like, okay, like I'm not coming down there anymore, like I'm here, but I love you and I wish you well. Bye.
A really
That's
wise
a-
man
Yeah.
once told me, he said, nobody wants to see you do well.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
He goes, now this dude was very powerful and very rich. He was like, I want to see everyone do well.
I feel like that.
He's
I
like,
want to see people
know.
succeed.
And once, I don't know how I was at that time, but from that time on, it always stuck with me that nobody wants to see you be happy. No, misery loves company. Everybody wants when they're saying, "Oh, good job," they really mean like,
When are you gonna fuck up?
yeah, exactly. It's a matter of time.
Can't wait to watch it fall.
So exactly. So he's like, I want everyone to do good, and then when everyone does good, everyone does good. You know what I mean? So that has stuck with me, and I'm like you. Like I want to see everyone do well. When Alyssa does something amazing, and I see it, I'm like, awesome. You know what I mean? I don't like it, but I think in my head, I
like it in your head.
If I was gonna like something, I would like that. I love it when people level up. I love it when people do other things. You know, I'm gonna go into this weird kind of thing right now. Like someone was talking to me about all the like, what's it called when you hate Jews?
Anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism that's going on in all the, like, it's so blatant right now.
Yeah.
And some guy said, you know why people don't like Jews?
Yeah.
Yes. I knew I shouldn't have fucking went down this road. No, you know why people don't like Jews? Because if you're, so let's go with me, right? I own Picasso's, right? So if I own Picasso's and I'm Jewish, and now this is just what he told me, and it makes a lot of sense to me. He goes, I don't care that I can get bread cheaper from this guy. I will get my bread from the Jewish baker.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's Jewish, and I want to see another Jewish person get lifted up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get my meat from this guy over here. I get it from the Jewish delicatessen, because that Jewish family goes. It's like you don't care about costs as much as you care about the Jewish community being strong. And he said that is one of the major reason why people have issues with Jews, is because they do well, but they do well
And
because
I always thought they hated spending money.
they do well because
Didn't land.
no.
Bender got it.
Yeah, I know.
Bender
he did.
loved that.
I know he did. But they do well because they lift each other up. You know, they'll pay more to lift up a Jewish baker.
Yeah.
They'll pay more to lift up a Jewish delicatessen. They'll do those things. And people don't like people.
And I feel like that goes for
Raising
any
up.
community.
Sure. I mean, of
Yeah.
course it is. Of course it's for every community. That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
where my point goes to. Like, people in Liz's circle only, like, benefit from her wanting to see people succeed. People in mine, I'm trying to help people succeed because I really want people
You
to
can't
do
help
well.
everybody, though.
Yeah, and you can't. That's true. You can't. But, you know, that's kind of where our point is that, like, we like to see people succeed, but
Not
nobody
everybody
does.
is like that.
And you'd realize that if you did try and help people in your circle
Yeah.
and really like seeing people succeed, everyone would get.
So raised red flag is people that hate other people.
No. My red flag, really quickly, because we're going to wrap this up. My red flag is trust. And here's the deal. I will never continue dating someone who has broken my trust. Cheating, texting to a point where you don't like the fact that if you don't want me to see it, it was over the line. You do that, and I'm out. Because I've been in relationships where the other person did shit I didn't like, and then every time she said, I'm going to be late for work today, I thought, are you really going to be late for work, or are you fucking someone else? You know what I mean? I'm never going to live my life like that again. Either I can trust you 100%, or we're not going to be together. And that's, for me, is what it is. Either I trust you 100%, you have the passwords to my phone, I have the passwords to your phone, everything's out in the open, and I don't care how much it hurts your feelings, I'm going to tell you how it is. I expect the same recipient, but that's what I would say. So when you're talking about red flags, for me, any kind of trust breaking, it's only a matter of time before it's over. So that's for me. Yeah. All right, Bender, real quick. Red flags?
Red flags are green flags to me. The more broken, the better. Let her lie to me. Let her cheat. I don't
Bender's
care.
like, it's a red flag if they're
Is that
alive.
because then
Yeah,
you
right.
can get away with all of
No,
your
not at all.
bullshit?
I don't think I have any bullshit. That's what I've realized recently.
But he is psycho.
Bender, it's been burned in my brain
Yeah.
from one of our shows where you were talking about like the putting your date in an ice tub.
Yes. Yeah.
and having sex.
It's like a step above necrophilia.
I want to try that.
And
It's
ice?
amazing. Well, I'm single now.
So how?
Oh shit! Love connection.
She's actually celibate right now.
Yeah, I've actually decided to be celibate. No, my favorite benderism. I mean, besides having sex with that girl on trash, my favorite thing bender. Well, there's two. One, we were talking about orgies, and he had something splash in his mouth.
My beard.
And-
It was in my
in his
beard.
beard, whatever.
Yeah, my beard.
In your face.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, he was like, yeah. And Donnie was like, what? Why? Huh? And he's like, I live life, Donnie. That's what he said. Because I live life. And then my other benderism, we'll close with this, is he said that Forky from Toy Story is the only person he's ever related with because he's made of trash.
He's the only Disney character.
That's going on Bender's
Either way, I'm just
tombstone.
saying we
Which
should have it
character?
on a T-shirt. Forky.
Which one's
He's
Forky?
from Toy Story.
He's the
Toy
fork.
Story's the fork that the little girl made out of trash.
I don't
That
remember.
little like
Forky.
yarn
Like the little
face.
And they-
janky eyes and
Yeah, he's
it's
got
like all-
googly eyes.
Yeah,
Number one, that's the best Toy Story.
yeah, that is.
It is probably the best Toy Story. So
I concur.
Forky.
All right, that's it. Hey guys, we are going to. This is our first show, and Bender's going to do all this stuff post. Pretty soon, we're going to be doing these live, and he's going to put stuff like down here
Where you
that
can send your questions.
Send your questions. You can contact us if you think you hate us, love us, whatever. We're also going to be taking some of these and putting them into shorts. You'll see them on our TikToks. So we will put all of those things in the intro. So this was our first show back. It's been how long?
5 years?
5 years.
Has it been 5 years since we did a show? So it's been 5 years.
Well, look
so
at the date up there. It was right before COVID hit. 3/12/2020.
yeah,
Wow.
we're
It
a
was
little
the
rusty.
13th. Yep. Like a day before.
Yeah. So we're back, and we appreciate you tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.